Hi, it's me, Melanie, your whole food plant-based coach at Truly Plant Based. And I was just thinking about, how it can be so challenging to stick with health goals that we attempt. So I want to make this video. And the question, my caption says, is the reason why you can't reach your health goals all in your mind? So that's what I want to get into, because trying to reach health goals, it can be very challenging. There's so much information out there. What you should eat, how you should eat, when you should eat, what time you should eat, and between this time and that time, eat this for 21 days, a whole host of information out there, right? And so we have all this information available to us, what to do, how to do it, but we still are not reaching our health goals. We're still dealing with chronic health challenges. So if it was just as simple as someone telling you what to eat, how to eat, when to eat, then we would all be healthy. We would all be free of chronic disease. We would just have to follow and do what it says, right? But that's not the case. It's challenging. And it's a lot more to it, a lot more pieces to the problem, right? And in particular, because I help caregivers who are trying to combat hypertension and maintain optimal health, I just wanted to go over a few things that can cause it to be challenging for caregivers, Of course, the impacts that it has, caregiving, on your physical and mental health, just the daily grind. Sometimes we work full-time jobs, we're commuting, we have our families to take care of, we may have children, or we have relationships, a host of different personal things that we personally contend with each day. And then we may have the added on responsibility of taking care of a loved one who is disabled. So that can be really challenging, and it can really impact your physical health if you're not consistent about taking care of yourself, how you eat, exercise, your lifestyle, right? And so let's not even talk about the mental implications it has on the health. Just the time, lack of time for oneself. Sometimes it can be very isolating. You spend so much time. You have like I said, your personal responsibility, and then you have the taking care of your loved ones. You don't have a lot of time left to spend time doing things that you enjoy. Sometimes you can't get respite services. Respite is where someone comes in and watches your loved one for a while you get to do something for yourself or whatever you need to do. Sometimes it's not available. Sometimes you have relatives that don't assist you. No, you're the only one showing up. They're not bringing anything to the table to help you or give you some time for yourself to do what you need to do. And so you're spending all of your time just taking care of others and neglecting your own health. And it can be isolated, which impacts your mental health, lack of social connections. And then sometimes, especially if you have a child with a disability, you're not even included in social events. Sometimes your child's symptoms of their disability can be challenging in social settings, and sometimes you're not invited. So it can be really challenging. The grind, the constant dealing with a sick person, not getting a break, can impact your mental health, and it can be you can spiral into depression and isolation. So that is a problem. Also, we don't talk about how it impacts families, especially marriages. I found out that 87% of marriages that have children with disabilities end in divorce. 87%. It's very hard to have a child with a special needs and put in the time and energy needed to keep your marriage strong. Even if you have kids without disabilities, it's hard to juggle parenthood and keep the marriage alive, So it's 87%. And then you have your other children that are impacted as well. If you're caring for a disabled loved one. Then nobody talks about the financial implications. The financial implications are, it's very, very stressful. The impact that caring for a disabled loved one can have on your finances. But me in particular, I wasn't able to work full time. I was working full time. My job let me go. They said, we like you. Your work is good, but you got too much going on. I had to take so much time off. So I wound up working part-time, which impacted my disposable income. Sometimes, if you're married, one person has to work while the other stays home with the disabled loved one. And it impacts your income. And so, and that also can impact your social situation. I know with me, I would see my friends going here and there, and I didn't have money. I couldn't do none of that. Also, sometimes they would go out shopping. I just follow along, act like I'm just looking, window shopping, because I didn't have no money to buy nothing. I just needed to get out the house. So it impacts you. So your health, both physical and mental, your life in so many different ways, and it can be also mentally and physically exhausting. Sometimes you don't even have the capacity to deal with other people. Sometimes you need people, you're so always giving out from yourself, you need someone to talk to. And sometimes you don't have anyone to talk to, because people only want to hear what you got to talk about, your problems, but so much, right? You don't have a therapist. So it can be very challenging. And for me, what I used to do was, I used to be so burnt out and exhausted, I would just resort to chip. That was my thing. Salty chips, right? I want my chips, dips, lay back, watch my movies. That was my entertainment. That's all that I could afford. That was my entertainment. So that's what I did. And I recognized that I had an addiction. Well, I won't say an addiction. It wasn't an addiction. But I used salt and my salty, crunchy snacks as a way to soothe myself. I get those things and then I zone out and just, watch my movies. And that was what I had. That's all I had. And so that's what I used. And I had to look at that. And I had to say to myself, where's that coming from? Why am I engaging in this behavior? Now, years prior to that, I had adopted my plant-based diet, and I was able to reverse my prehypertension. And as I went on, the way my lifestyle didn't come back, and I don't have issues with hypertension. But you don't have to have hypertension for salt to affect your body. It can damage your arteries even if you don't have hypertension. And not only that, I have become a health coach, and I'm helping people who deal with hypertension, and I wanted to be able to be a model of the behavior that I was trying to help people to adopt. Also, I wanted to be an effective coach, a good coach. And so I needed to understand what my clients are dealing with, how it feels to have to get rid of salt. How do you live your daily life and adopt to this new way of eating without salt? How do you make your food taste flavorful so that I could be consistent with the changes that I'm making, right? So I just looked at all of that, and I'm still a caregiver, so I have to still be mindful of my health. And so I was just looking at that, and I just could not get rid of these snacks, these salty snacks. And so I had to look further, deeper. What is causing me to not be able to give up this salty snack, right? What is holding me back from, why can't I make up my mind and get rid of this situation? And I realized it was my mind. It was my mindset and my beliefs. My beliefs around, my limiting beliefs around lack, not having enough, not being enough, not having enough time. All these thoughts that I was having that were holding me back from being enslaved to these salty snacks. and not reaching that goal of letting them go. So I had to address that, and I had to look at that. Where did it come from? And I recognized it was those thoughts I was having, and how I was letting my caregiving, the circumstances that I had, dictate what I was eating, you know. And then I had to examine these thoughts. Were they true? You know, were they based in fact, or were these the thoughts that I was feeding myself? These thoughts, and were these thoughts serving me well? And then I also had to look back at childhood trauma, different types of things. I mean, I remember as a child, I was a latchkey kid. And when I would come home, I would have chips and them salty burgers, fries, salt, you know. So I just had to look at all of that. What's my mindset around food, in particular, these salty snacks? And how will I address this? How can I overcome this need for this type of food? And so I don't have a health coach, but I do have a business coach. And she helped me to see a lot of things around my mindset, especially around lack. And she showed me how to create exit strategies to overcome these challenges that I had. And at Truly Plant-Based, we do the same thing, right? We help people to, some people don't even realize the thought patterns they have, or the limiting beliefs they have. They're not even conscious of them. So we help people to be able to view what their problem, see what their problem is, address it, and figure out why do they have this obsession or addiction to certain foods? Why can't they make up their mind to stop it? Or why can't they stop eating this food? Or why can't they reach their goal of combating their high blood pressure? Whatever the matter may be. And so we help them with that. We help them create an exit strategy to change those limiting beliefs, that mindset around their food, how they eat, what they want, their desires, and how to go about it, creating exit strategies. And, you know, those kind of things is what we address in our coaching program, Beat Hypertension, No Meds. We also show you how to create amazing food, meals without salt. And so, you know, it's a whole process, and by the end of the day, it's a mindset. And it's what is your mind holding you back from making the changes you need to make? Is it your mind that's causing you not to reach your health goals? And usually it is, because like I said, if it was just stop eating it, don't eat this food, eat that food, this food, then we'd all be healthy. We'd all have, we wouldn't have any obesity. We would be at our desired weight if it was that simple. So that's where having a good coach comes in and can help you with those issues. And at Truly Plant-Based, we love to help you. We're here to help you. And on that note, you guys, I want you to know what you got to do. You have to have an amazing day. You have to be intentional about it, else it won't happen. Just like them salty chips. I had to be intentional about that. Okay, guys, you have an amazing day on purpose.